Hello, everyone. Can you hear me fine? We already have close to 100 people. You can directly send some message. Hello, Gabrielle. Thanks for this. Yes, and Iris too. Thanks for joining on time. We'll be waiting 1 or 2 minutes until the number of people increase a bit, and we'll be together for an hour discussing the end of website and all these topics that are very new and pretty interesting. I hope you'll enjoy this webinar. We've spent quite a time working on it, so very happy to have also people from all over the world, from Spain, Italy, Portugal, Middle East, Latin America, Europe as a whole. So it's a pretty nice thing to see all these people together talking about changes that will all impact us. And we had around 400 registrants, a bit more than 400 registrants for this webinar. So it's obviously a topic that is interesting for all you guys. So I'll be presenting, we'll take some questions and note them. And if we don't have time to answer all of them, we can have a discussion on the side with the team of Partoo and deep dive on any subject you want. Hello, Joao. A lot of people, and you can also comment on the comment on the side. Let's wait a minute and so we now have close to 200 people joining. Hello, Jenny and Jose. So so I'm gonna quickly introduce myself. I'm Thibault Renouf. I'm the CEO of Partoo. And as everyone at Partoo, I'm very curious about what's going on the internet right now. And we have an hour together to talk about AI, the future of the web, and the end of websites. It's a topic that we look into a lot at Partoo, and I hope you enjoy it. So just a few slides on Partoo. So we are a company that helps local brand on local marketing. And we help around 1,200 clients, chains like Carrefour or Leroy Merlin or McDonald's, and we help them in 150 countries. So that's why you're so many different people in different countries joining today. We are lucky to have a strong growth, and we are a team with 27 nationalities of 350 people based in Paris, in Barcelona, and some other places. Just to quickly introduce what we do, because it's also important for you to understand the context. So we have three main offers. The first one is visibility, the second is reputation, and the third one is messaging for local store. And we also have colors for each of them. So I'll say blue, orange, and green. And the blue visibility offer starts with helping local stores. We have more than 300,000 stores under management, and we update the information on Google Maps, Apple Maps, Waze, Snapchat, etc. We also develop store locator, and we'll talk about this topic. And we manage social media for stores, helping them with a platform that they can use locally and centrally. The second aspect that we manage for our clients and we help them with is reviews and reputation. So we help store, centralize, and answer all review on Google, Facebook, and other platforms. We've developed our own solution for surveys, so questionnaires, the one you receive once you visit the store, and you can answer on NPS and indicators like that. And we also work on competitive analysis and semantic analysis, which is based on AI too. The last part is messaging. So we centralize all the message from WhatsApp, SMS, Facebook Messenger, and we developed an AI agent to do so. So we'll not be talking too much about Partoo today. The topic is way broader. It's the future of the web. So the reason why we're talking about it is because we work with 1,200 clients, and they are all asking questions. They are all asking what's going on with the web, what's going on with the websites, and the question is worth asking because things are moving pretty fast, and I'm going to get into it. So in 1990, it was the beginning of the web with the first index, which was basically focusing on title. So the website were indexed by title. In 1994, Yahoo started to index the content of a website, and it was revolutionary. And in 2004, Google surpasses Yahoo with PageRank based on the links. 2015, Google drives mobile first, and 2023, the rise of AI with ChatGPT actually changed a lot of things. And that's what we're going to talk about, but I just wanted to give you some context starting with that. So a lot of people are saying that internet is over, internet is done, but the reality is that it's a misunderstanding. The reality is that the blue links era might be over. The blue links you see on website is called SERP, so Search Engine Result Page. The blue links are what we call the legacy of the web, and on each blue link you can click, and that's usually how the web is structured. But this is changing. And the question we're going to ask during this webinar is, are we heading toward the end of websites in the next 5 years? So we start with the context, and I'm going to try to explain the SEO and the GEO, which is another acronym that is kind of gaining traction. And then we'll talk about agentic web, agentic commerce, and hyper-personalization. So I'll try to make it simple, but it's obviously a topic that is quite complex. So feel free to ask any question in the chat if needed. So first, people say that websites are done, and I think this trend has been starting a long time ago. 10 years ago started the trend that we called zero-click search. Google actually positioned itself to provide answers and not just link. And this has dramatically changed the way we use Google. So zero-click search means that you find the information you need without having to click on a website. And for the past 10 years, you've experienced Google with such formats. So I'll say, if you type what the weather in Cairo, or when did Charlemagne die, or where is the closest supermarket, in each of these cases, you don't have to click because you obviously have the information right away. So the trend is that Google provides answers and not links to websites. But this trend is growing, and with AI, it might be an accelerator. So what has happened? In November 2022, OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, just launched the AI ChatGPT chatbot. And that actually accelerated this trend. Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI and ChatGPT, just said in an interview that the world doesn't need another copy of Google because it's boring, as he said. So he doesn't want to copy Google, but at the same time, he wants to create a place where the information is provided to users, so it looks like a bit of a competition to Google. So that's what we're going to look into. And in July 2024, ChatGPT launched a prototype called SearchGPT. So SearchGPT was obviously a search engine. And you can see the layout of this prototype with column, with search results, with navigation option, with sources, image, etc. And the look and feel is actually a search engine. And so that shows that at the beginning, OpenAI thought about a search engine, and it's moving toward more of a generative engine, and that's what we're going to talk about. You may also have heard about Perplexity. So Perplexity, if you've not tried it yet, I really recommend you try it. You just have to go on Google and type Perplexity. It's obviously, as they call themselves, a Google killer, but Google still has 98% of the market. So it's still a very, very small portion of the search. And it was created in 2022. It's growing quite fast. And the idea is that Perplexity provides you with AI-generated answer, quite similar to what you have with ChatGPT, but grounded with search results. And they have very nice investors, like the CEO of NVIDIA, Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, Yann LeCun, the CTO of Meta and Facebook, and the former CEO of GitHub. So this small startups have been growing quite fast and is rumored to be valued around $14 billion. And Apple was looking into it to maybe buy Perplexity. So that showed that it's a hot topic. So Perplexity is kind of a competitor, new competitor of Google, and there have been many of them because Google is obviously a very successful company, making a lot of money and doing a very good job on search, and there's been growing a competition lately. However, Google had to answer to that, and they could not do like ChatGPT and launch something very fast because they have responsibilities, they have a lot of users. So they decided in May 2023, during an event that you may have heard of, is Google I/O. Google I/O is the annual event of Google. It's every year in May, and in May 2023, they launched Google SGE. So you don't have to remember that name because it's not relevant anymore, but SGE meant Search Generative Experience, Search Generative Experience, and it was available in the Search Lab. The Search Lab is the test for a user of Google, and basically you could go, if you were a US user, and try to use that. And SGE was AI answer within the search experience. So it was the beginning of the tests that Google launched around how to implement AI within Google. So then within the search experience, I would say, because Google is using AI, has been using AI a long time ago, and they're actually the one that invented transformers. So it was just how to integrate AI within the search experience. In May 2024, so 1 year later, in the Google I/O of 2024, they launched a new thing that is called AI overviews. As you can see, AI overviews have been rolling out in the US first, and they said more countries to come soon. At the bottom right, you can see Sundar Pichai. Sundar Pichai is the CEO of Google, and he was announcing that because it has been long awaited. So what is AI overview? I'm going to be quick on that because you may have heard it, and if you're not based in France, you've seen it yourself because as it's written on the top, on the right of this slide, France is the only country in the world where we don't have AI overviews yet, with Turkey and China. So we're a bit late on that. And it's currently being tested in France, but it's all over Europe apart from France. So AI overviews is a block that we called AI Snapshot, and it's also available in the Middle East and Latin America to all our clients. And the idea is that it gets some information from website and it summarizes that information into an AI-generated text that you can see in green here and answer precisely the question. I think it's very important for you to differentiate the AI overviews text that is AI generated, meaning that an AI is transforming everything that is taken from the website, and what we call the zero position. The zero position has been over Google over the past, I would say, 10 years, and it's a snapshot of your website, but the text has not been changed. It's just a window of your text within the search experience. So as you can see, below the AI overviews is just the text of the website. But the AI overview, on the contrary, is a bit different. It's AI generated, meaning that the answer is way more easy to read. And it has a 1, 2, 3. It's a step-by-step guide to plug an hybrid car. So basically, you can see that it's very different, and you should not see one other. You should really differentiate one another. And you have also a graph. It's a graph of AI overviews and feature snippet, which is another name of zero position. And it was in Germany. In Germany, it was launched. AI overviews was launched in May. And as you can see, AI overviews has grown to about 10% of the queries right now. And feature snippet or zero position didn't decrease that much. So AI overviews is not replacing zero position. It's complementary. So this is an example of German market, but in each of the markets, you have around 5 to 15% of the queries that generate an AI overview. And during the 2025 Google I/O, there were another launch, which is called the AI mode. You also may have heard about it. So AI mode is the next step of AI overview. So AI mode offer a live user experience that is 100% customized and that provide with to do charts, modular response, image, etc. So if I take an example, here we ask Google to create a 3-day meal plan for a group that is easy to prepare. And today, if you ask that to Google, you have plenty of websites that you need to click on, etc. But here, what AI mode does is able to understand a complex query and generate a complex answer with day 1, day 2, day 3, with the different meals, and try to find things that are easy to create. And the idea behind that is that maybe with AI mode, Google is preparing to create one website for each query. So that means that you don't have to click because the website is generated for your specific query, and it's taking the information from other websites. So if I summarize, and I think it's important at the beginning of this webinar to summarize what's going on. So SERP is the search engine result page. It's where we usually use internet, the blue link search result. Then you had AI overviews, and AI overviews is AI generated text and modules that you can experience in a lot of countries right now. And AI mode is a bit the next step. It's a fully personalized web application page. And maybe the AI mode will replace website in the long run. Now, you may have heard people differentiating chatbots and search engine, kind of saying this is really not the same. So you have the search engine era with Google that you can see that generate thousands of billions of search every year. And you also have Bing, Yandex, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, and the others. And these are said to be the old way you search on the internet. And people oppose to that the chatbot era with DeepSeek, Mistral, ChatGPT, Gemini, etc. What I think is that this opposition, this differentiation, is not going to last in the long run, because search engines are going to integrate chatbots, and chatbots are going to be grounded on the internet. So let's call it generative engines. So generative engine is the buckets where you put Google AI overviews and ChatGPT under the same umbrella, which is search experience based on AI generation. So let's call it generative engines in the coming slides, and we don't oppose chatbots and search engine. So the rise of generative engines, whether it's AI overviews, ChatGPT, or Perplexity, marks a shift from what we call SEO to GEO. So I'm going to try to explain it as easily as I can. So if search engines are the old way we provide information to users on the web, which are websites, and generative engine is the new way generating text with AI based on search and website, I would say that search engine optimization is all the techniques that enables you to rank your website higher in the search results for a specific query. So if I take this example, what is Partoo? I want the website of Partoo to be ranked first. On the right, you have generative engine optimization. It's just the idea that we want that when people ask what is Partoo, the information that I have on my website is used by generative engine to answer to the question. So SEO is about search engine, generative engine is GEO. So it might be the same text, same techniques, but the objective is not the same. So very different ideas. Now, you may also have heard about geo-tracking. So what is geo-tracking? Geo-tracking is a way to understand how your brand is perceived and positioned within AI agent. So if I take myself, so I'm going to ask what the best orange juice brand. So if I ask that, I'll have an answer. So ChatGPT will provide me with recommendations saying Tropicana, Simply Orange, and Natalie's are the best one. And this is a way to rank brand, right? So if you're a brand or a company, you definitely want to be seated. You want to be first on this, and each of the AI agent will answer a different stuff, and also depending on who you are. So geo tracking is a technique that helps you to ask the same question to AI several times per day, and to monitor how your brand is perceived and by AI, and how this perception from AI will influence your final clients. So that's a very important topic that is moving on, and a lot of companies are actually getting into that. So you have a few brands, companies that are in this space. I would say Profound is very known, but you also have the legacy player that used to do what we call SEO tracking. And geo tracking is a new topic, and they are moving on with that. So you have Ahref, SEMrush, or SimilarWeb that are trying to help companies better track the position they have on AI engines. So that was the first part, trying to explain the context of the situation, how we went from SEO to geo, what is geo tracking. Now we're going to talk about another topic that is very dear to me, and I think is going to move, transform how the web is structured, is called the agentic web. So it's kind of a buzzword, agentic. So I'm going to try to explain it in a simple way. So Demis Hassabis is the CEO of Google DeepMind. Google DeepMind is a company that has been bought by Google. So DeepMind is a UK company, AI first company. And Demis Hassabis is a very known person within Google because he's the CEO of this AI major company. Sorry for that. Can you still see? Yeah. So what he said is a web designed for AI agents no longer needs web pages. So that quote is very important, because what Demis Hassabis says is that maybe if we don't, if the web is used by agents, we don't need web. We don't need web pages. So and this is what we call the agentic webs. The agentic web is a web where the content is accessed by AI agents rather than HTML web interface that user will be using. So if I take another quote from Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, he says, "The web is a series of databases. And we just built a UI on top of it for all of us to conceive, for all of us to use." And the question is, in this context, could websites be reduced to their underlying databases? So this is quite theoretical, but let's take a very simple graph. So you are a user. Back in 2020, you would go to a search engine like Google, Yahoo, or Bing, and you will connect, and search engine will be the gateway to websites, right? So you'll type Partoo or something, you just click on the website, and you can see the arrow going to the website user interface. And those websites user interface would be, I would say, the connection between the web database and the user. And that would be how the web was conceived. And for the past 20 or 30 years, websites were the interface between users and web databases. But what's going on now? If you discuss with Gemini, if you discuss with ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Perplexity, the user doesn't interact with the website. The user interacts with a conversational interface that is generated on the fly. And so AI agent is a conversational space where you can also talk using vocal and discussion. And AI agents like Google, OpenAI, and Perplexity, they will be crawling the web, the database of the web, and producing answers so you don't have to go to websites. So that's what's going on right now. And the question is, if this trend grows, then user will be always in the web, in the conversational interface of Google, OpenAI, Perplexity, and they won't have to go to the web interface to get their answer. And this is a tremendous shift, of paradigm that has happened already. So the question everybody's also asking is, what the role of the data? So how a generative engine source their answer. So the question is basically very easy. So if I'm asking what the best juice brand in the world, how the generative engine will answer this question. So at Partoo, we like to use some framework to simplify things. So if I try to simplify, I would say there are 4 data sources that are very important to GEO, so to Google, OpenAI, and Perplexity. So the first one is called publishers and press. So we all know that. I'm going to get into each of them to clarify. The second is the proprietary data. The third is websites. And the fourth is what we call UGC. So UGC is user-generated content. It's all the content that you produce as a user on the web. So reviews, posts on TikTok, on Facebook, Reddit posts, on this kind of stuff. So let's first focus on publishers and press. So when you ask a question to ChatGPT, Perplexity, or Google, they will use the press or any publishers that provide information like the weather forecast or website films that are coming or music in Spotify. So all these companies on the left, they provide structured information. And Google or OpenAI, they're going to buy this structured information to answer to your questions. So if they want information on the news, they will buy information from the New York Times and so on and so forth. So each of the AI agent is building partnerships with those publishers to answer to your specific questions. And those agents, they will pay the publishers to access the information. So that may be a way for all the media to get some money out of it. And that's the reason why a lot of people are saying that press relation is a new SEO, because if you have a lot of articles about your brand on the New York Times or the Guardian, if you're in France in Le Monde or this kind of newspaper, this information will be considered by agents, by AI agents, as a neutral source of information. And as you know, the biggest problem of AI is the bias. AI is always a bit biased. So AI agents are searching for neutral information, and press relation is a good way to provide AI agent with neutral information and to influence the way they will answer to users. Now, let's talk about the second type of data that AI agents are using. It's called proprietary data. So let's take a quick example about Google, because Google is the main company with the most proprietary data. So I'm going to take, for example, the Google Mission Center is the data behind Google Shopping, or Google Business Profile is the data behind Google Maps, Google Travel, Google News Publisher, Google Manufacturer Center. All these databases are used by Google to answer questions you ask and to also generate AI answer. So if you have stores, Google Business Profile is the key information you should update and optimize to be fueling AI overviews in the coming years. So that's why Partoo manage so many Google Business Profile, because this is very important for all our clients, because they want to show up in AI overviews results. But what is interesting is that OpenAI doesn't have proprietary database for now. Say, if you are Google and you have a new incumbent, a new competitor that is coming, for example, OpenAI or Perplexity or Mistral, and you don't want them to access your proprietary databases, because that's your defense, that's your asset. So obviously, OpenAI doesn't have access to Google Maps information. They're trying to scrap it, but they don't have officially access to it. They don't have access to Google Shopping either. So what do OpenAI, or what does OpenAI or does Perplexity? They are scrapping the web. They are scrapping your website, your store locator, etc. And they don't have proprietary database for now, but they intend to build it in the coming years. The third type of data that is very important is website. Obviously, if there is no website, there is very, very little data over there. So we've asked Google, what is AI overviews? So we take that and we noticed that Partoo was the main source of information when we asked what is AI overview to Google. So that's very nice for us as a company that helps retailers and brands better score and better SEO, local SEO, do better local SEO and reputation. We thought this is very good news, because you can see on the left, the AI generated answer is based on Partoo website. But at the same time, what does it mean? It means that people won't click that much if they already have the answer in the AI overview. So you can see that the source on the right are used to generate the answer on the left. Now, this has impact on the clicks because people will not click that much on Partoo website because they already have the answer. And that's a trend that we've been seeing, especially in the US, where the AI overviews is growing, is that since the launch of AI overviews, we have a trend that is called the great decoupling. Actually, there is a growing disconnect between the number of impressions and the number of website clicks. It means that your information is seen by people, but they don't click that much on your websites because they already have the answer to their question. And we also call that effect the crocodile effect because it looks like a crocodile for some people, as you can see, because there is this disconnect between the impressions in purple and the clicks in blue. So a lot of people are saying it depends on the website you have. Sometimes you have websites with very common information and people will not click. But if you have information that are not very simple and people will not want to click to know more, Google is saying that the clicks that is generated thanks to AI overviews are more qualitative, meaning that they convert more or that people spend more time on your website. So that's a debate that is really open today. So the question is this the end of SEO? It's not, but it might be the end of some strategies focused on ranking for generic queries that are very simple. Back when I was at school a long time ago, a friend of mine created a website that was called how to solve a flu or something like that, and he put a lot of ads on his websites, and he get a lot of money out of it because his website was very easy to rank, but the content of that website was not that good. So this is the end of this kind of strategy, because if you want to ask Google how to solve a flu or a very easy question, the AI overview will get that content very easily and put it in AI overviews, and you will have no clicks and monetization will be harder. So a lot of companies right now are changing the way they do SEO, and I think it's very important for any company to think about that and try to find ways to work on GEO. So a lot of people are also asking us at Partoo what the role of traditional websites. So the first thing that website will do in the coming years is fall back and forth. So websites will still exist, but they may play a secondary role. For example, you find your information, but you still want to go to a Partoo website, for example, to know more about our products or to see success cases. So there will still be people going to website, that's for sure. The second thing is websites will be structured publishing hub. So this is a bit complex. So when agent will go to your website, they don't care about the colors, they don't care about the buttons. What they care is the code, the text, the thing they can read as AI agent. So we're going to talk about that, but you need to understand that your website is becoming a database that AI agents are referring to when they want to answer to users. And also the last point is that you want your websites to be taken for GEO ranking, and that's why websites are still very important. So now I'm going to get deeper into how GEO works and how you can ensure your website data is picked up by generative engines. So a specific case that we like at Partoo is called the store locator. So store locator has been a very a growing product at Partoo. So we provide hundreds of brands with a specific store locator, as you can see. So it's basically the store that are put on a map with information like reviews, open hours, address, news, a lot of information. And we developed that for our clients because we've developed a very good understanding of how to rank using a store locator. And the traffic that is generated for retailers is higher and higher thanks to store locator. But what you need to understand is we need to differentiate the front and the back office. So the front of store locator is basically the button, all the layout, the way you use internet. But what is very interesting is if you click on inspect on your websites and you want to feel like a developer, you'll find the code behind it. And the code behind it needs to be written in a way that AI engine can understand. And we call that metadata. So metadata is a complex term that means data on data. So it basically says to the AI what is what. Imagine two photos. One is your logo and one is your photo of your team. The AI cannot know if this is your logo or if this is your photo of the team, because maybe your logo looks like a team, whatever. So you need to put some metadata saying to the AI agent, this is my logo, this is my photo of my team, this is my open hours, this is my address. And this is called metadata. And to do that at Partoo, we use a way that is called schema.org. These schema metadata are basically a common thing that all AI agents can read. And if you have a store locator right now, it's very important that you use this language to explain to AI agents how your website is structured. So I'm talking about store locator right now, but it's the same thing for your product landing page, your news, your website as a whole. Your website must be adapted to AI agent era. And to give you another example of how store locator important is, let's take the example of SearchGPT or ChatGPT. So if you type what the best opticians in Brest, we've said before that ChatGPT doesn't have access to Google Maps, right? That's very important, because when you ask ChatGPT or Perplexity, what's the best optician or what the best supermarket or what are the good hairdresser in Barcelona, whatever, they will rely on website information because they don't have access to Google Maps. And website information is in store locator. So you can see that the sources used in this query for ChatGPT is actually the store locator of Atoll, which is a client of Partoo. And the better your store locator is structured, the best you will rank in AI agents. And that's why so many clients of Partoo are asking for a store locator, a new store locator way better. We've said for now the three sources of information. It's proprietary data, publishers, and websites. The fourth one is called UGC, and it's a growing trend all over the internet. UGC stands for user-generated content. User-generated content is everything that is produced by user on the web. So YouTube, Reddit, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, Facebook, all that is generating a ton of user-generated content. And this information is used a lot by AI agents because it's supposed to be non-biased. So generative engine are bringing back UGC into the web experience. You may have noticed over the past weeks, especially in the 10th of July and 10th of June, Instagram has show a pop-up if you have Instagram that says that your videos and photos might be used by search engine. And this is a tremendous change. It means that Google, Perplexity, ChatGPT will have access to Instagram posts that are public. And this will fuel the answer that we provide. And this trend is not just right now. It's been happening over the past 2 years. Twitter posts, YouTube posts, TikTok posts, LinkedIn posts lately, they're all part of the data that agents are using. And I think this is very important to understand. And if you want to grow your presence online, you definitely want to work on UGC. And there is a type of UGC that is also very important, especially when we work on the local GEO, because customer reviews are considered as a neutral source of information. If you put on your website that your company is the best in the world and you put it everywhere, basically, it's biased because it's your own website. If you create new websites saying your company is the best in the world, it's the same. And what AI doesn't want is bias. So the online reviews are very, very important because they are considered as a non-biased source of information because users give their reviews and actually it's not linked to the brand. And so AI is using that information a lot. So if you want to prepare for the age of AI agents, you definitely want to work on your Google reviews and the other reviews that are available. Let's take a very simple example. I want you to know the pros and cons of the iPhone 15. So I'm going on Google and I type pros and cons iPhone 15. So the AI that you can see, that it's an AI overview. So it's AI generated. It's using Google Shopping reviews. It's not using the website of Apple, because Apple will not give very interesting pros and cons. Maybe they'll give pros, but they won't give cons. So the AI is relying on the reviews. And if you're asking the best restaurant, obviously AI will rely on the reviews, and it's the same for doctors, hairdresser, and so on. Remember we said that Google doesn't give access to ChatGPT to Google Maps, right? So we've done some tests at Partoo, and we taped what is the best insurance agency in Brest, which is a city in France. And you can see on the right, you have Matmut, AXA, that have ratings, Google ratings. And on the right, you have Allianz, Groupama, or MAP, they don't have Google ratings. Why is that? That's a very interesting case in point. Because how come ChatGPT can have access to Google reviews on brands, and we just said that ChatGPT doesn't have access to Google Maps, or at least officially? The reason is that when we developed the store locator, Partoo developed the store locator of AXA or Matmut, we decided to incorporate within the layout of the website reviews, Google reviews, plus example of reviews. As you can see, we put Google reviews out there with the number of reviews and the text of the reviews. And since it's on the website, the AI, like ChatGPT or Perplexity, is able to read the reviews and to provide to their user that information. So if I have a very simple trick that I will give you, is you should change your store locator and incorporate as much local content as you can, especially reviews, news, service, posts, everything you can, photo of your team, because your store locator will be the, I would say, the source of all the content that is used by AI agent. So a lot of people are saying that website is dead, and that was the title of this presentation. But I would say website is changing, and the role of website is not only to help users, it's to help AI agents, and that's a change. So to summarize, all the data is valuable for generative engine, publishers, proprietary data, website. And I just wanted to also explain you something that is a bit also technical, but I think is very, very important to understand how AI works. So when you ask a question to AI, to ChatGPT, or to Perplexity, or to Mistral, what does it do? You ask a question, and the question will be reformulated several times. So, for example, if I say restaurant Norwich, there is a technique called fan out. So the fan out is a way to transform your query into various queries to search in various databases. So if you type restaurant Norwich, the fan out will change it to best restaurant in Norwich, where to eat in Norwich, recommended restaurant in Norwich, dining option by neighbor in Norwich. So it's actually replicating what a user would do, searching with different keywords. And for each of these keywords, they'll get a result based on the web index. And those results can be sourced from the press, your websites, Wikipedia, blogs, a lot of places. And each of these results will give a list of best restaurants in Norwich. And then the AI will take all that list and aggregate those lists into one list. So the more you present in various places, the more the results aggregation will place your brand first. So this is why presence management as a product we provide at Partoo is very important for local SEO. And once you have a list, the AI will just generate a response. And this response will be based on the fan out result. Each fan is called a branch. So that's how actually Geo works today. We not talk about RAG, which is a specific technique on that. But if you're interested in AI, you definitely want to get into what RAG is. So Now we've talked about a lot of stuff, and it's already 10:45, but we still have a few topics to go through. So we've talked about what we call informational searches, like how long does it take to boil an egg, when did Charlemagne die, or what is an hybrid car. But what is very interesting to you is transactional searches, like book an appointment, buy iPhone 16, order a yo-yo stroller. On the right, you have transactional search, which lead to an act of buying. And today, ChatGPT is used a lot for informational search, but not a lot for transactional search. But this shift is happening right now. So the question we're all asking is, what will it look like if AI agents were able to make purchase for us in the future? So agentic web is agents that are able to scroll the web to answer a question. And agentic commerce is an AI agent that is able to make purchase on your behalf. So in April 2025, so not long ago, Amazon launched an amazing feature called Buy For Me. Let me explain it simply. So Buy For Me feature enable Amazon to buy any product on the web for you. It means that you will go on Amazon and you can find the product that are sold on Amazon, right? But Amazon will not only show the product that are on Amazon, but they'll also provide you with the product that are not on Amazon, but that are on other marketplaces. Because then you can say, buy for me. And Amazon AI agent will use your credential, your address, your name, and your banking account, if you have one connected to Amazon, to buy on the specific marketplace that is not Amazon and deliver it to you. So this buy for me experience extend the number of product that Amazon is providing. So when I saw that back in April 2025, a few months ago, I just thought this is the end of all the marketplaces, and Amazon is winning the game. But in May 2025, so 2 months ago, Google launched the Buy For Me feature. So exactly the same name. And it's a bit different. So basically, you go on Gemini and you choose a product and you define a price. So that's an amazing feature. You choose a product, you define a price, where you want to buy it. And whenever the price is available for your product on any given marketplace, you'll be notified within the Google experience, and you can say, okay, now it's at the price you asked, so I can buy it for you, and you will buy it. You will buy it thanks to an AI agent that will be using Google Pay and your credential and your information to make the purchase for you and to make it delivered to your place. So it's not available now in the US, and it might be available in the coming months, but it's changing a lot of stuff in the way we'll be buying stuff in the coming years. So when I saw that, I say, okay, now Google is killing it. But what is absolutely amazing is that all the players are all developing Buy For Me features. OpenAI just struck a deal with Shopify to do exactly the same. Perplexity launched Buy with Pro. Microsoft launched the Copilot Merchant program. So every big company is going after agentic commerce, but it's very difficult to know who will win and actually is it going to work. So we'll see that in the coming years. But the question that it arises is this the end of e-commerce? So that's a definitely very interesting question, because if a user go to an agent and this AI agent do the purchase for you, that means that you don't have to go on Walmart website anymore. You don't have to go on Best Buy, because you don't need to. The AI agent will make the purchase for you. So a lot of people asking, is this the end of e-commerce? So actually, it might be a change for e-commerce, because the marketplace will not be used by users, they will be used by AI agents. So e-commerce is transforming in a way that we didn't anticipate. And back in the days, we remember merchant websites. So every brand was doing e-commerce. Then it was the time of e-commerce marketplace. And maybe now it's the time of e-commerce agents. And that's what we call agentic commerce. We still have 10 minutes for another topic that I found fascinating, which is called hyper personalization of the web. So as you know, generative engines like OpenAI or Perplexity, they leverage your interaction, your past history, preferences, whether you're male, female, what your behavioral patterns are, and they make personalized response. So that's actually what Google DeepMind said in 2023. And it's just to say that each time you do, if you ask what is the best orange juice in the world, maybe you won't have the same answer that if I do. Okay, right? This is very simple. But the question is, what if personalization of the answer wasn't just based on the interest and the past searches? And this is what we call omniscient agents. Let me go back in time and it was 5 months ago, Perplexity, we talked about it, they raised 500 million euros and they acquired a company that is called Carbon AI. So when I saw that, I said, okay, there must be something going on. And looking into it, Carbon AI is a company that do RAG, so they basically connect AI agents to Dropbox, OneDrive, websites, Google Doc, Gmail, so all your personal data. So basically, it's a search engine for your personal information. You want to search on Gmail, but also on Slack or Teams, and you type, and basically the answer comes right away. But Perplexity is a web engine. It's a search engine, a generative engine. So what the connection between personal information and web? The reality is that beyond the web, AI aims to access all your information system, not only rely on the public web, but also on your personal web or your company web. And this is what we call the convergence between public search, so the web we know, and private search, your personal and company data. So maybe tomorrow, if I type a question, the AI agent will be able to answer my question based on my emails, based on my photos, personal photos, also based on my company CRM, or based on public information. And having a separate agent for the web search or for my personal data search might be a problem, and taking everything into one might be the future of what search is going to be. And when I was thinking about that, I thought that maybe this is already happening. And I asked ChatGPT several times, discussing with ChatGPT to understand what's going on. And what struck me is that ChatGPT told me it's not going to happen. It's actually happening. So if you know Microsoft Copilot, they have access to the web, but they also have access to your Excel file, to your Word, to your PowerPoint, to your Teams, to your Outlook, and the same thing for Google Gemini. They have access to your Google Workspace, and OpenAI is connecting with HubSpot, Salesforce, Excel file, Word, etc. So they're already building omniscient agents, and we just don't see it because it's ongoing. And that's why I wanted to finish this by a quote that a term that I really like is universal search. So search is becoming universal, breaking down barriers between the web and your private documents. And that's what they are building. And I think it's pretty important to understand what we're heading to. I think this quote from Sundar Pichai is very important, and I'm going to read it out loud. So people tend to underestimate this moment. When the internet arrived, Google didn't even exist yet. I think AI is going to be bigger than the internet. There are going to be companies, products, and categories created that we aren't aware of today. And I'm just going to finish by just saying how Partoo can help you in this whole change, in big change that is happening. So if you're a retailer, if you have stores, I think the first thing to do is to reclaim and to manage all your Google business profile listing, all your Apple Maps listings, Snapchat, TikTok, etc. So this is the first thing that we do to all our clients. The second thing that is very important is store locator. If you have stores, these need to be shown on your website, and you need to have localized content for each of your stores and reviews and information. If you want an audit, we can do a free audit for you and to analyze your store locator, to give you some ideas. It's a free audit of how to improve it. So you can contact us on our website. You fill the form, and we'll have a solution consultant contacting you and helping you with that. And the third aspect that is very important today is reviews. So obviously, it's not new, but this is a growing trend, and it will be a source of information for AI. Now, I don't know if you have questions. Of course, we'll send you the recording. The recording will be sent, but you will not be able to share it. But you can find the YouTube replay on our YouTube channel. So you type YouTube Partoo, and we have the same in French and in English. I really hope you enjoyed this webinar. We spent a lot of time working on it. I think it's a big change, and Partoo is super curious about all these topics. If you have questions, feel free to add them. And if you want to have a one-to-one discussion with one of your team, one of our team, yes, and we'll send you the materials. So the presentation will be sent to you too, and you can share it to friends, but and colleagues. But please make sure that they know it comes from us. Have a great day. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for staying the 1 hour, and I hope to see you in other webinars. Always a pleasure. Have a great day.